Right now at 5:30, the 10-year anniversary of the Flight 5191 crash is in a little more than a week. This weekend there will be a volleyball tournament to honor one of the victims.
Also on WKYT, one person taken to the hospital, another arrested after an overnight crash in Lexington. We're at that scene.
And hundreds of freshmen will move into the University of Kentucky dorms today. We'll have more on that coming up on WKYT.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey there, good morning and welcome in on your Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your Friday. It is a good news in terms of, the fact that it's Friday, but we're obviously going to deal with a little bit of storms like we've been doing for weeks after weeks after weeks.
Yeah, the good news comes after the week, or maybe deep in the weekend. Mike is now moving that up, I think it sounds like, into Sunday when things start to look nice.
That's exactly right. That front passes through now. It looks like Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's been the case for the past few days. However, what hasn't been the case is how fast we're getting out the rain. And now it looks like early Sunday morning it moves on out, and Sunday afternoon looks phenomenal. Low or mid to upper 70s, and also looking at that really nice air just kind of streaming on in here. Temperatures there in the 70s. We have a little rain chance there that's going on in Barberville at this moment, in Corbin area. A couple there in Pulaski County too. So that's really what we're looking at this morning. Afternoon, it's a few storms, kind of hit and miss as we go through your day, and that's just going to be the case today and tomorrow during the daylight hours. But like I said, that front passing through is our big story. We're going to get into that in further detail coming up.
Okay, a nice cool change on the way. Thank you.
All right, the 10-year anniversary of the tragic Calm Air Flight 5191 crash is just more than a week away.
And tomorrow there will be a memorial volleyball tournament in honor of one of the crash victims. WKYT's Mike Byer is live this morning with more on that tournament. Mike?
Good morning, Bill. I'm at the UK Arboretum, which is home to Calm Air Flight 5191 Memorial. For the 10th year in a row, family and friends of a man killed in that plane crash are coming together for a volleyball tournament. Fenton Dawson died when Calm Air Flight 5191 crashed at the Bluegrass Airport in 2006. Dawson was an avid volleyball player, and his loved ones decided to honor him by playing a tournament in his name each year. This year will be bittersweet for organizers and participants, as it will be the final year of the event. The tournament will take place tomorrow at the Kentucky Basketball Academy in Lexington. The net proceeds of the event raised over the last 10 years will go toward a preservation fund for the Calm Air Flight 5191 Memorial here at the University of Kentucky Arboretum. To commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Calm Air Flight 5191 crash, a memorial service will be held next Saturday at 10 a.m. right here at the UK Arboretum. WKYT will have coverage of the service. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you very much. New this morning, one driver was arrested after an overnight crash in Lexington. That crash happened just before 12:30 this morning on Richmond Road at New Circle. Police say a vehicle traveling outbound on Richmond Road hit a car that was coming off of New Circle. They say one driver was arrested for driving under the influence. Another was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Today, a Laurel County judge will sentence a man charged in connection with the death of his girlfriend. Police originally charged Christopher Bird with the murder of Shannon Engel. They say Christopher Bird shot her during an argument in July of last year. But earlier this month, the jury found him guilty of reckless homicide. They recommended a one-year sentence. Since Bird has served more than 400 days in jail, he was released last week.
We have new information about the search for a Nelson County woman who disappeared more than a year ago. The Nelson County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant at a Bardstown home yesterday afternoon. Deputies say it's connected to the Crystal Rogers case. The warrant was served to former Bardstown police officer Nick Houck, but the home belongs to his grandmother. Houck's brother, Brooks, was Rogers' boyfriend. Police have named Brooks Houck as a suspect in the case, but he has not been charged. Rogers' mother showed up at the home yesterday as police investigated.
I just couldn't stay away. I just felt like I had to. Nervous. I'm just nervous, and I just wanted to see what was going on. They can't tell us a lot of stuff, so I'm like, I just want to come up here and see for myself.
Deputies did not talk about what was on the search warrant, but investigators were seen taking, I should say, some things out of the house. This morning, U.S. swimming officials are blaming the Ryan Lochte robbery spectacle, as it's really become, on a, quote, lapse in judgment and conduct.
Meanwhile, 2 American swimmers detained in Brazil are finally heading home. Jamie Yukas is in Rio de Janeiro, where the incident involving decorated Olympian Ryan Lochte and other teammates could land all 4 swimmers in some hot water.
American swimmer Jimmy Fagan testified before a Brazilian judge in Rio overnight, as teammates Gunnar Bentz and Jack Kunger made their way back to the U.S. under a cloud of suspicion.
Any message for the Brazilians or Americans?
Bentz and Kunger were detained in the country Wednesday as part of the ongoing investigation into claims they, along with Fagan and Ryan Lochte, were robbed at gunpoint in the city last Sunday.
They pulled us over, they pulled out their guns, they told the other swimmers to get down on the ground.
Brazilian officials say this surveillance video proves that's not true. They say it shows the swimmers being confronted by armed security after vandalizing a gas station. A statement by the U.S. Olympic Committee Thursday appeared to agree with the Brazilian account, saying security, quote, demanded the athletes provide a monetary payment, and once paid, they were allowed to leave. Lochte's former coach says the swimmers could now face serious sanctions that could hurt their careers.
The United States swimming always takes a pretty strict stand if allegations like this are true, so I would suspect that there would be some kind of suspension involved.
Lochte, who is already back in the U.S., is so far sticking to his story. U.S. swimming officials are investigating the matter and will decide if there will be any consequences for the athletes. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Rio de Janeiro.
Now, it is still possible that police in Rio could charge the men for falsely reporting a crime. Ryan Lochte's attorney said in a statement he is not aware of any federal police charges and said no matter what happened at the gas station, the swimmers were robbed by people with a gun appearing to be law enforcement. 3 people are facing charges this morning in connection to thefts from hundreds of cars around central Kentucky. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office has charged 20-year-old Justin Hendershot and 2 juveniles with receiving stolen property. Investigators say most of the thefts were in Franklin and Anderson counties, but they think thefts in Scott and Shelby counties could also be connected. The Franklin County Sheriff says his office has recovered nearly 100 stolen items, including phones, guns, and clothing. And they say they expect to make more arrests in the case. New this morning, police have arrested a man after an armed robbery in Letcher County. It caused a high school to go on lockdown. The robbery happened yesterday afternoon at what used to be Janie's Dairy Bar near Highway 2034. Whitesburg police say 3 men tied up a man with zip ties and demanded cash, all while holding him at gunpoint. Later, police arrested Timothy Driver, and they say the other 2 men are still on the run.
There's just a lot of things that don't add up. This gentleman's from Jonesboro, Tennessee. He says the other guy that was with him, or the other 2 guys that was with him, was from Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Letcher County Central High School went into lockdown as a precaution when police made the arrest. Driver is charged with carrying a concealed deadly weapon.
Also new this morning, a home in Bath County has been severely damaged in a fire. Salt Lick Fire and Rescue Department posted a picture on their Facebook. They say early yesterday morning they worked with the Owingsville Fire Department to put out the fire at the home on Riddle Road. They say the fire was quickly knocked down, but the home was already severely damaged before the fire was discovered. The people who lived there were not home at the time. No one was injured. If you're looking for something to do tonight, there are several events going on in Lexington this evening.
It looks like a busy weekend ahead. This Miss West Lexington beauty pageant is scheduled for tonight. Last year's Miss Kentucky, Clark Davis, will be emceeing the event that is part of the year-long Douglas Park Centennial Celebration. That pageant will run from 5 until 8 o'clock tonight at the O'Rear Center in Douglas Park. Summer Wine Down is also happening tonight in Lexington. That event features local award-winning wines, food trucks, and live music. Proceeds will go to the American Diabetes Association here in the Bluegrass. That runs from 7 until 10 tonight at the Talon Winery. Tickets are $15 in advance or $20 at the door.
Now that is an event I could get into, and so is this one. Live music starts at 6 o'clock tonight as part of Lakeside Live. It's at the Lexington Green and lasts until 9. Tonight, Boogie G and the Titanics are performing. Tomorrow it'll be Point 7 as well as Ben Lacey and Alan McKenzie.
And Picnic with the Pops is going on this weekend in Lexington in its 37th year. The concert event is known for its annual table decorating contest. Guests are invited to bring their own picnics or order from food trucks available on site. Tonight's event is Oz with Orchestra. The Wizard of Oz will play with a live orchestra to accompany it. Tomorrow, a Picnic with the Pops presents Matthew Morrison, who is best known for his role as Mr. Schuester on Glee. This is at Keene Meadow near the Keeneland Entertainment Center. The gates will open at 6 and the show will start at about 8:30. So lots going on. The Kentucky State Fair also kicked off yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's 10 more days to run.
Hey,
with that.
you know what? Fried Twinkies, fried Oreos, all that good stuff, funnel cakes.
Other options,
Sign me
right?
up. Yeah.
A Lincoln County family's hard work has paid off.
This week we've been telling you about the family search for relatives of a World War II soldier whose Bible they found in a china cabinet.
Please return to Milton C. Cummins, 1145 Delrose Street, Indianapolis, Indiana.
With some help, they were able to track down one of the soldier's descendants. Turns out a relative from Michigan had just gotten to Lexington for a last-minute business trip, and we were there as they gave the Bible to him last night.
God does small things that we should celebrate, and God does big things that we should celebrate. And to our family, this is a big thing.
John Mack says he thinks his family lost track of the Bible after an estate sale shortly after their Uncle Milton died.
It's a great story with a good ending. You know?
Yeah, very much so. Hundreds of freshmen will be moving into the University of Kentucky today.
Here they come. Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk with details on that. She's going to alert us to all those kids coming in.
Alerting.
All these students moving in, and it's going to cause a little bit of a traffic issue on UK's campus because it's the third day of Big Blue move-in at the university, and you know what? Several streets will be impacted. We've got more than 700 freshmen moving into residence halls today, starting at 9 o'clock this morning. There are changes to one-way streets, several street closures, and changes to parking that'll take place on campus. You can see a map of the streets impacted during the move-in. That map is on our website, WKYT.com. Now, tomorrow's the last day of Big Blue move-in. UK's first day of classes begins Wednesday, August 24th. Remember those times, guys? Oh, yeah. I miss those times.
Exciting time for sure.
I don't miss those times. I mean, college was fun, you know.
Well,
I don't know.
They may be watching now. This may be their evening newscast, you know. Still up.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, no, they're going to be studying hard, hopefully successful. Our time is 5:42 right now. And let's check live drive traffic this morning and see what is going on. Here's a look at the region. As you see, clean and green, no troubles on I-75, I-64, the major roads in the Bluegrass.
You know, it looks pretty good out there. And let's take a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. This one of New Circle and Meadow Lane looks great.
It certainly does. And it's early. It'll be picking up here shortly. A lot more news coming up on WKYT on your Friday morning.
A North Carolina couple never imagined a quarter would be able to buy them something absolutely priceless. We'll find out what they found at a thrift store when we come back.
A few showers down south, but it looks like the heaviest rain comes this weekend during some point of the weekend. Now, it's definitely not going to be a washout, but I'm going to show you where I expect that rain coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We're getting some showers sparking up here and there, central, southern zones. That's where we're seeing some, I wouldn't say heavy downpours, but some light to moderate rain here and there. One about to head through Nicholasville here very shortly, over Wilmore, Broadhead, little bits and pieces across central zones, Lexington. We'll actually see this here very shortly, but the heaviest rain and the best chance of rain is going to be down south. You can see that rolling through Barberville at the moment, 421, you're next in line. Make your way back toward Leslie County and really Clay County as well. So Howard Rogers Parkway is going to pick up some of that rain in London Corbin area. Seeing some showers at this moment heading down the Howard Rogers Parkway here very shortly. So Manchester heads up. A few showers here and there. And you can see north. They're just bits and pieces. They don't last long. Visibility issues, that's going to be out there. And we're 1 mile now in Breathitt County. A lot of locations that saw rain yesterday will have some of that fog laying across the region. I'm going to talk about some events that you can attend this weekend. Remember, weekend's not a washout. Saturday during the daylight hours, 40% chance of rain. Sunday looks extremely nice. You'll love Sunday. Woodland Art Fair going on this weekend here in Lexington. We'll actually be down there. Bill and I and also Barb will actually be down there from 10 a.m. to about noontime there on Saturday. And some more people heading on down there. So we'd love to see you down there at the Woodland Art Fair this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Bluegrass Festival. It's the Lake Cumberland Bluegrass Festival going on in Russell Springs. That's going to be on Friday. Friday and Saturday. A few storms here and there, but I would say get out early, not get out early, because off toward late afternoon, early evening, you start to see some storms move on in. Kentucky State Fair going on in Louisville now through next Sunday. Pioneer Days, Friday through the weekend there in Harrodsburg. Here's the breakdown next 3 days. A few storms around. High school football impact, it's not a great impact, but a passing shower thunderstorm is possible later on this evening. Like I said, 40% chance of rain, guys, during the weekend, during the daylight hours Saturday, 100% during the evening and off into the nighttime hours as that front pushes on through. Sunday evening, off, or really afternoon off into next week, look fantastic, look great. Really no problems whatsoever. Speaking of problems, though, I mean, my Twitter feed blew up yesterday right around 1 p.m. It was a very rare funnel cloud that caused a lot of issues. Not so much issues, but a lot of commotion, that is, there in Clark County yesterday in Winchester. I mean, we picked up several pictures, a lot of videos, and the emergency management did sound the alarm. It was more of just a heads up. There was no touchdown with this that we have heard of, or that I have heard of, and it was more of just spinning there in the sky, so you can really see that what happens here is this is a land spout. This isn't actually a supercell thunderstorm where it puts down big tornadoes. That's nothing like that. The land spouts, you get these airs colliding there at the surface. They start to spin, and sometimes they eject up into the clouds. Sometimes they don't. That's what you saw yesterday. At least it didn't reach the ground, though.
Well, it was very fascinating. You know,
it was very fascinating.
I'm sure over there the people in Clark County, it certainly was, because they didn't know where this thing was going.
That's exactly right.
It was something to see. All right, Dan, talk about it. We thank you, and it's coming up on 5:50 now.
Of course, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. And a North Carolina couple could not believe what they found at a thrift store.
Mike and Amber Hernan spent 25 cents on something that could be priceless. The couple was in a thrift store in North Carolina when they came across a Michael Jackson cassette tape. It wasn't just a regular cassette tape. When they opened it up, it appears to be signed by the king of pop himself, and they were shocked.
I literally could not breathe, couldn't speak. I just sat there blinking my eyes because I just could not believe that this was sitting directly in front of me. I just could not believe it.
The Hernans said they would like to get the autograph authenticated at some point to have peace of mind, but right now they are just happy to have it. And if it's confirmed to be real in the future, they say they have no intentions of selling it. Gonna hang on to it.
Wow, that's pretty bad. In a good way.
Yeah, sounds like a yeah, bad. I got that right.
Yes, you know, we're with it this morning.
Yeah, up and at it early, right? Yeah, it's not a bad way to spend a quarter, though, it sounds like.
Yeah, sounds like it to me. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
Also, we'll be checking traffic again as things are starting to pick up out there, and we'll update you on our top stories in just a few minutes on WKYT.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
I had a couple of, errant hairs over there, so.
Welcome back in at 5:54 on WKYT this morning.
We can't all have Bill Bryant hair, you know.
It never moves.
It's kind of stuck there. Right. Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Busy on your Friday. One driver was arrested after an overnight crash in Lexington. The crash happened just before 12:30 this morning on Richmond Road and New Circle. They say the driver was arrested for driving under the influence. Another driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
The 10-year anniversary of the tragic crash of Comair Flight 5191 is just more than a week away. Tomorrow there will be a memorial volleyball tournament in honor of one of the crash victims. That'll be at the Kentucky Basketball Academy in Lexington. Net proceeds from the event raised over the last 10 years will go towards a preservation fund for the Comair Flight 5191 memorial. 2 American swimmers detained in Brazil are finally headed home as questions mount over their account of an apparent armed robbery during the Rio Olympics.
The story has been strange all week. The 2 men, along with teammates Ryan Lochte and James Feigen, claim to have been robbed at gunpoint at a gas station in the city last weekend. Brazilian authorities maintain the story is not true, and they say the surveillance video shows the swimmers being confronted by security after vandalizing the gas station.
Donald Trump is expected to tour flooded areas in Louisiana today. Speaking from North Carolina yesterday, the Republican candidate uncharacteristically expressed regret for some of the rhetoric he's used on the campaign trail. Latest polls show Trump trailing rival Hillary Clinton in most key battleground states. Let's get a check right now. Today's traffic travel spots with a look at live drive traffic.
See what's happening out there as things start to pick up this morning. We're looking at the region, and it is still good. You see there, I-75, I-64 moving along. We're zooming in just a little bit closer there, and you can see things starting to slow down just a bit on Richmond Road as folks are making their way into the city. We'll take a look now at the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Government live drive cam. This is New Circle and Meadow Lane. And there are some early birds streaming in, and of course the school bus is on the road here shortly. All right, we're looking for this weather to improve, and it sounds like we're about to get there.
Let's hope, Micah, that some better hair days are in store for some of us.
Oh, they're coming, absolutely. Sunday afternoon, the humidity drops big time for all you ladies out there. That's fantastic news for you, is that humidity has just been nasty the past few weeks. But showers are sparking up once again early this morning. They're more of a nuisance than anything else, nothing to be concerned about. Little fog issue as well as you were traveling there on the roadways. Then we hit the afternoon, a few storms will be in the forecast. I'm going to track the weekend forecast with that big cold front coming up with another hour. WKYT News.